Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cryptocurrency News. Today I will cover the period of time from the 7th of June till today, which is 13th of June. I will start with the market overview in terms of the price. The price has been largely unchanged since where it was a week ago during the last weekend. We are still at around 9.5k. There has been a pump and then a quick dump after that with a very long wick to 8.6k on BitMEX, which is very unusual. That illustrates that there is rather little liquidity. I have never seen such a long wick on, I haven't seen such a long wick on BitMEX for a very long time. So that implies that the liquidity is rather dried up. In terms of futures, the futures are not trading at any significant premium. The June futures are pretty much flat because they are expiring soon. The September futures, especially on BitMEX, they are rather flat as well. And then the futures for December are rather pathetic in terms of the premium. It's between 1 and 2% yearly. So it's certainly not a viable cash and carry arbitrage. In terms of the open interest, we are still pretty high. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum, they have rather significantly large open interest in terms of implied volatility, so how expensive optionality is. It is very low. The implied volatility for at-the-money options on Bitcoin is long-term 74%, while short-term 61%. This is very cheap for Bitcoin, particularly in such unsettling time. For Ethereum, again, it looks like it has floored at around long-term volatility 78% and short-term volatility of 65%. Let's move on to the news. Don't trust coin market cap. Deribit exchange is number 179 with liquidity score of 0, and there are plenty of exchanges above Deribit which you have never heard about. CZ Binance, so Xiaopeng Zhao, says that he doesn't know of a crypto exchange that doesn't double count the volume, and they are the only ones that they knew, and this is the answer by Whalepool. So pretty much every major exchange counts the volume once. So that's some misinformation spread by the head of Binance, and this is all related to the coin market cap acquisition by Binance. And obviously when Binance acquires coin market cap, it is presented as the best exchange. USD Tether market cap is marching towards 10 billion. That's a significant milestone. The volatility is very low. This is the perspective. So this is the current volatility. It's pretty much at the floor. It's important to recognize that there is a new big player. It's LMAX. It's a major player in both FX and the crypto markets. It is for institutional investors, but it is important to recognize that there is a big exchange out there. Bitcoin is breaking all-time highs every day. It's just everyone's eyes are on Bitcoin USD price. Bitcoin is breaking all-time highs in Bitcoin versus emerging market currency pairs, in option volume and option open interest, CME futures volume and open interest, money managers interest, monetary policy tightening after the halvening, and in terms of new users. So, while everyone is watching the price, there's actually a lot happening beneath the surface. Hasu has issued a very good article about Ethereum improvement proposal. The long story short, the fees are This is a proposal that was proposed in October 2018 and accepted in several months ago. It will essentially make Ethereum fees more stable, and it will introduce some deflationary fee burn into the protocol. These moves, so this is the pump followed by a dump. These moves don't occur in the wild. They are engineered, and they are there to catch you on the long wick. This is an interesting occurrence. Somebody has sold 105 million worth of Bitcoin on BitMEX within less than 2 minutes. So he just submitted 21 orders, 21 sells, 5 million each on BitMEX, and the price didn't move much. So he has dumped from 9.9k to 9.7k. And the price didn't really react much. That shows how much buying there was, but the price has then dipped afterwards. And he was likely closing his orders, closing his positions, because the open interest has dipped after that. The open interest on futures is recovering across the board, so it has reduced significantly after the events in March, and now it's just growing back. This is an interesting opportunity. A lot of people were selling during this dump to 9k. The price on September futures has dropped significantly and developed a discount, and at some point it was cheaper than the price on Binance. The difference was $140, so that's 1.4%. That is quite significant. It has narrowed down afterwards, but it shows that the Bitcoin markets are still pretty inefficient. This is a good chat with Sam Trabucco. He is the partner of Sam Bankman-Fried. They have created Alameda Research and made a lot of money. He just talks about how they work. So they make markets on all big real markets, particularly to get better fees. They like market making on BitMEX because this gives them access to the long wicks, and there is plenty of human input into how their bots work. Bots suggest strategy changes, but 24/7 traders make the important decisions, and they allow the bots to proceed. Here is another of my predictions. I suspect that the implied volatility will explode, and it will be epic, either to the upside in terms of the price or to the downside, but the volatility will go up, and I'm pretty sure it will be within 2 months, could be even tomorrow. This is an analysis of how BitMEX liquidation engine behaved during 12th of March. So I've made a poll, and 50% of voters were correct, saying that BitMEX liquidation engine is exempt from risk steps. It's either exempt or it's fragmented across hundreds of accounts with smaller risk limits, because if it obeyed the risk limits, the maintenance margin for the position of around $300 million would be 250,000 Bitcoin at that point, because the maintenance margin would be around 316% on such a large position because of the risk steps of 100 Bitcoin. So that is pretty much it. There hasn't been really much going on this week. The price has been more or less flat, and no any major news. Thank you very much for watching. Please have a look at the links in the description below. Please give me a thumbs up, comment and subscribe.